We are done with the scream rock on the job site. That's it. It's banned. Don't try and play it on the radio anymore. All that screaming like type rock stuff, it's gone. Job site said no more, dude. Absolutely no more. You guys are out of control with this scream rock. That's not rock music, dude. Seriously.
All right, we are freaking back at it again with another episode of the With Conviction Show. Today, we've got AJ, we've got Pierce, we've got Keelan, and we've got our special guest, Aaron, my dude. How we doing today, guys?
Good.
Fuck yeah. I know so yesterday we had a dope ass jam. We got all of our stuff ready. We're getting excited. I was watching the Alt Waves intro for, I guess, the last time. We've been using the Alt Waves as our intro since episode 1 of the With Conviction Show. And now we're at frickin' Alt Waves is tomorrow. Alt Waves is literally tomorrow. So I don't know. I'm kind of like, today I've had the whole stomach jump and like stomach drop and like yes and oh my god, I'm scared, but like I don't know, I'm pretty excited. It's gonna be a good time. Alt Waves is tomorrow. I'm excited. Also, Larry just joined us. Larry, what up, my dude?
Yeah.
Hey. So we got a full house. Look at us, full screen here. 6 guests. Let's go. I think Kyle said he might even be joining later too. So who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, so our guests today, our esteemed international guests, first time being here. Let's a little round of applause or something. I don't have that as a frickin'. Let's just say bruh. Bruh, I don't have a frickin' sound effect for that. But Aaron, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Okay, why don't you tell us about yourself a little bit? Fucking, I'm sorry, I'm making this super awkward, but
You good, man? You good? So, I'm the vocalist of Lyrian XR. We're a metal band. We kind of just right now we're more studio project in a sense. I would say we're not really like live. We're not doing live shows or anything like that right now. We're kind of still finishing up our first album that we're doing. We're about to release another song here that we actually are doing with Melly Sky from Russia, and it's awesome. Like, I can't wait to get it out. We just actually submitted it, and we're waiting for it to get approved to be released on the 10th, actually.
Fuck
So,
yeah!
I'm excited about that one.
Sweet.
Yep.
Okay, and is that the clip that we just showed earlier today? The one that was on your Facebook. We showed a little clip, and I took it from your Facebook. It would have been your last post or whatever. You had like a little vertical image of like coming soon, featuring somebody.
Oh yeah. If it was saying featuring coming soon, yeah, that was it. Yep, okay. That was it from Melly Sky. It's actually called Black Tooth Necklace. Yep.
There you go. Hell yeah, that's dope.
So it's a weird name. A lot of people are probably gonna be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna put it out there just so some people don't understand, maybe necessarily." But a black tooth necklace is basically the tooth necklace. Necessarily is more what it's a reference to. All cultures basically have a type of, it's like a somewhere in history they've been doing it for centuries, where they've been like, it's like a gift you could give to somebody, like a tooth necklace. You see a lot of natives wear them and stuff like that. It's supposed to symbolize power, strength, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of what we named it after.
That's cool. And you know what?
I kind of named it after that.
As far as weird names go, though, bro, you were good. Like, you're on the With Conviction show with no vowels, and like we have a pretty weird name. You know what I mean? So you're good. Yeah. That's dope, man. Well, I mean, we're gonna
have something weird to it.
Yeah, man. We're gonna dive into a little bit more about what you do, where your passions are, what you know, like a bit about your music, and you know, just kind of what it means to you. But before we kind of jump into that, I got a couple of small things prepared on this super duper hella awesome over the top production that we run over here at the With Conviction show. Really quick, Amanda Hansen says, "Hey guys, how's it going? We're doing pretty good." Ian says, "AJ, make me a sandwich." Make me a sandwich.
I'll get right to it.
Cereal, something.
But we're gonna take a second. We're gonna talk about. I saw earlier today, and I think it was yesterday or the day before. The Serenade Metal Fest submissions are now open. We played it in February of 2022, so this year. The submissions are now open for 2023, and I'm just going to read through it here. We got band submissions are now open for Serenade Metal Fest. Last year, we donated $2,000 to MS and cancer research. We couldn't have done it without you. We're back for year 2, and we plan to go even bigger this year. Make sure to submit your band if you want to be a part of this cause. Submissions close June 30th. So, if you're in a band and you know, you're like, hey, I want to do something good for my community, and I also want to play shows and, like, you know, show my new music off and stuff like that in February, maybe consider dropping in a submission, because I mean, it's for a good cause, and like, we had a really good time last time. It was a sold out room, and you know, it was a fun time. Where was it? Shakers Roadhouse. We filled the place up. I don't know if the venue is going to be the same. I don't really know what's going on with that yet, but nonetheless, I hear it's going to be bigger and badder than last year. So yeah, definitely go drop a submission. They end June 30th. Boom.
Word.
Boom. I actually just posted. We didn't have like any recent live footage pictures or whatever of us, and I wanted to share some stuff about alt waves, so I shared pictures from that show.
Can I add a quick note?
Yeah, please do.
Should give a shout out quickly to Jamie. She's in the living room right now helping organize the merch bin.
Oh my God, for tomorrow.
Girl.
Shout out to Jamie, Aurora Moon. Let's go. I actually so in that post that I posted last night with the pictures of us from Alt Waves, I gave a bunch of shout outs to everybody. You know, and I was like, I think I probably missed maybe 1 or 2 people, but you know, like, I'll forgive myself, right? Hopefully. And then and I saw Jamie was like one of the first people to like it, and I was like, oh no. And I threw in an edit right away. I was like, and Jamie right there.
She told me about it. She's like, I'm gonna be honest. At first, I was a little hurt. I was like, wow, at least he had changed it, you know?
Yeah. It's so funny too, because it was like the day before she sent me like a really encouraging message. I was like, Jamie, thanks for being a part of the fam. Like, I really appreciate you. You know what I mean? And then I give her a fam appreciation post and like completely neglect to include Jamie. So yeah, whoopsie freaking daisy. But what can I say? You know, what can I say?
She said she forgives you.
I hope so.
The ones you forget are always the ones you want the most to be there.
It's so true. It's like so true.
True.
And our Patreon for some reason was like down last night, and I was trying to like get all the names of all of our Patreons. I was like, I can only remember a few of them. Whoops. And yeah, it was down. I couldn't access it, so I was like, well, there's gonna be more people I forgot, I guess. But oh well. The point is, we love and appreciate the people, you know.
How about the one that, you know, tries to help promote the band?
100%.
You know, the one that, you know, said to both you and Aaron, hey, do you guys want to do this show together? You know?
Mr. Right. Larry. I didn't forget you.
That was Larry. Larry.
If you forget Larry, that's a sin. You know what I mean? He's the man.
You can't forget Larry.
Well, you know what? Let's Larry, did you said to me earlier anyways that you might have had a couple of questions for Aaron that you wanted to bring up. Are you prepared to bring them up now, or do you want to bring them up a little bit later?
you know what? If we're going to dive into questions, I'm ready.
Well, let's do it. Let's dive into some questions. Let's open up the floor. I'm sure we all got some questions related to some music and stuff. So yeah, Larry, since this live stream is thanks to Larry, brought to you by Larry Smith. So let's let you conduct the first questions. Let's go.
Okay. Aaron, do you think that waiting until your first full-length album is done for a tour is going to be better than when you just released the EP and wanted to tour then? So like,
Um,
is waiting for the album going to be a better payout than if you had already toured beforehand?
I don't know.
I
I
was gonna say
mean,
that's a good
it
question.
definitely gives you more. That is a good question, Larry. That's a very good question. I would say personally, I think it could go both ways. I mean, it could be better in some ways, and I think it could be maybe not a really much of a difference at all in other ways. It really depends. I mean, depending on the size set list, the venues you're playing. I mean, maybe you have more time for more people to actually get to know you in the first place, maybe know your songs a little bit more as you release them, like the way I've been doing it. Um, it might be better in some ways like that. Maybe in other ways, we're not really like a big band. Like you're like we're not like a really big band. I mean, at least as far as I know, anyways. So like I don't think it would make much difference in that category for us in that area per se. However, we have more material to come out there with too that way, because we're actually still writing it as we're going. Like we don't have some of these songs actually done all the way set in stone necessarily, so we couldn't really necessarily play them live because like half the song's only there. So as we got that done and we released it, I mean, we have more of a full set list to play if we did go play live. So I feel like it would be better in that aspect. Maybe we have more to give you for a live audience in a sense at that show for each show we do for that tour. So I think instead of 6 songs playing live, maybe we could play 10. In that aspect, I think it'd be better. Probably, I would think.
I think you know
That's
what,
probably the best
it's
answer I can
in
give on that.
today's digital age too. It can go both ways because, like, say if you weren't like
Yeah,
playing shows, but like you're putting out your songs on TikTok, and you get a bunch of attention through a certain avenue of some sort, right? Or, just driving traffic to your Spotify and like getting fans to know you, like you said, get them to know your music and potentially come out and sing with you rather than discover you kind of thing. So it could go both ways for real, I think.
yeah, that's what I would think. I mean, that's kind of the take I would put on it. I mean, you have both sides to it, really. You got both spectrums to that. It's a digital world so much now too. It's like, I mean, look how many people are going to listen to your video and watch your video on YouTube quicker because it's free. It's right there at their hand, it's on a phone compared to, going to a live show. I mean, there's a lot of people that go to live shows and they like those live shows, but there's also a lot of people that don't go to live shows. They don't have time to go to live shows that can still watch you now too. So it's like it's both sides are very important, really. I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, yeah.
Mm-hmm. One thing, and like obviously we'll dive into some more Larry's questions, but one thing that scared me about like the digital age again was like live stream shows for a long time. I was like, that's scary to me. That doesn't seem, I don't know, I just like not comfortable. You know what I mean? And but it looks like it's something that we're trying to look into doing later on this year now. And like, what do you think about something like that, where it's like a bit of a mix? You could potentially be touring, like being seen playing live anywhere in the
Oh,
world at one
the
time. You know what I
digital
mean?
live tour.
Yeah.
That whole digital tour. Who was that I saw did something like that first that I first noticed? There was what was that? Wasn't it who was that? Was it
There,
In Flames or somebody like that? I think it was In Flames that did that. I
yeah,
thought that was pretty cool. They did like a digital tour during the pandemic or something like that, and
yeah.
they did it one at some castle or something. Like it was weird. It was pretty cool though. I thought that was neat.
That
Yeah.
sounds sweet. I didn't hear about that. I'm surprised.
That'd be like a cool way to
It was
legally work as a musician during the pandemic. You're like, look, we can still travel. We're doing it for work, but and we're being safe. You know?
well, it was like I think it was like they went somewhere and actually like filmed it at a certain place, but they filmed it, and that's what you were watching live on like like a live stream basically. So like you had to
Right.
have tickets ahead of time and everything and stuff. I mean, it was like a digital show basically that anybody could do, and they like aired at certain places, I guess, or something. I don't know.
Fair enough.
So it was like a weird thing they did. I thought it was cool personally because it's something new, you know. I
Mhm.
like
But
seeing
Kind of
weird
like
things that are just like new that I haven't seen really somebody do it maybe per se in that way at least, you know.
Yeah.
it's
mhm.
kind of like a new age pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It's
What
like
was
a
it?
band pay-per-view pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is totally off topic, but yesterday Keela was talking about it. He's like, it's bullshit that you can get Prime, but then you have to pay for extra stuff, right? And then he said something like offhand, like, that's like if I got Spotify and then had to pay for like, my favorite bands or whatever. And then I was like, oh my God, they're gonna start doing that. Like certain record labels will make you pay more for, you know what I mean? It's just like again a new thing that
For
I
certain
could
bands.
totally see. Yeah, I could totally see that being a thing. Keelan was just like getting pissed off at like. Oh, freaking capitalism and Jeff Bezos, you son of a gun.
Mostly just Amazon. Mostly just Amazon.
Just Amazon and Jeff Bezos, you son of a gun. And next thing you know, I think he like prophetically spoke to the future right there about like, yeah.
Either that, or his phone
I
was
hope
too
they
close
don't do
nearby.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, this band's got higher ratings. We're gonna charge more for this person.
Oh my
Oh
God.
man, can you imagine if the price goes up, the more your views goes up? Oh man, that would
Oh,
piss me off.
man. Yeah.
the
Because
more
then
the
someone
more
like,
you listen to it, the more expensive it gets. Like,
Mhm.
or
Yeah,
like,
'cause
oh,
yeah.
someone like me, can't go, oh yeah, I'm going to stream the new single for 2 months straight. I got to pay for every single time.
That'd be awful.
That would be absolutely awful.
That'd be terrible. I would pirate our own music to the masses at that point.
There is an
that would be
interview
pretty
with
messed up if they did that.
There's an interview with Sinister Gates where he was asked how he felt about people pirating his music, and his exact response is, "I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna illegally download this interview. Like I don't care."
For real though.
I mean, in all reality, that flip flopped the moment the internet came out. In my opinion, like when the internet came out in 1990 and they started being able to stream your song in the first place, it was already gone at that point. Like really think about it. Like it used to be
Yeah.
like you'd like have to go to the show, and they would throw out shirts for free pretty much, because that was the advertisement, that was the billboard. You walked around and people would see it that way. Now you see it all over the internet. So if you think about it, they're listening to your music and hearing it, and now it's like you can't illegally download a t-shirt really, you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of difficult, so like really the merchandise is how you really would think about it. That's the way you're going to make your money more nowadays anyways,
That reminded
compared
me.
to the
It's
music. Like
almost like Lars was right.
dude, he was like, he may have been a dick about it, but he was right. I mean,
He was
everybody
right.
steals music now. He
Ugh.
was right.
That
It
reminds me
doesn't
of
even
those.
taste
right.
right coming out of your mouth. Just Lars was.
It reminds me of those old school commercials where it's like you wouldn't pirate a freaking car, or you wouldn't pirate a freaking t-shirt.
If I could pirate a car, fuck yeah, I'd pirate a goddamn car.
I mean, technically
The
you could. It
music.
would just be like really awkward, you know?
Be like IKEA.
The music in those commercials is what always killed me, is the music. They'd always have that really dramatic music, and it'd be all like with that filter over the screen. It'd have like that real dark, gloomy filter, and you see them like just pulling out a VHS or something, and you're just
Yeah.
like, and they'd be like, "You wouldn't do this." Dun 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 dun.
That's why I find though that like touring and making merch is so important, because that's just like how you make your income now in this age. Like you flat out know you're not going to make money off your music on Spotify, so it's like, okay, may as well book a tour, get some merch, and then have at her.
Mhm.
To be honest, for my band, for my project, for Lyrian XR, like we do it because we like to do it. We just do it because we just really have that love for it. Billy, Jamie, Rachel, me, like, we all really honestly just love music. Amelie Sky, honestly, as far as I know, like they're pretty much, I've known them for a long time. And since they were in their old project Atacama, actually, and they've always done it the same way. They had the same perspective. We were actually supposed to do that song we're releasing actually like 10 years ago. And we just never did. It was when me and Rachel were in our old previous project before that too, and the Ukraine thing happened over there or whatever, and that kind of split them up or something. I'm not really sure what happened with that, but they actually wound up starting a Melly Sky like a couple years later afterwards, and that's how we wound up stumbling upon that, because I actually saw them online and I said something to them. I was like, hey, you know, we still wanted to do a song with you one day, and well, they actually wound up being like, let's do it, and well, now was the perfect time, it felt like. And it was kind of weird because now they have that whole thing going on over there again now in the middle of it. We've been working on this song since like last year actually, and
wow. Yeah.
so yeah, it kind of took a while because, you know, we're sending them tracks, they're sending us tracks, you know, we're going back and forth like, oh, well, let's change this, let's do that, and you know, just everything all at once. Just the whole war broke out over there, so communication got disrupted in other ways, so we had to start talking in other things and whatnot, like other like systems and whatnot, because some things like we use, like they got taken off Instagram or something at one point. So it was like I couldn't really message her all of a sudden on Instagram. I had to turn around and start messaging her on Telegram or something, you know, like, so it was a little different things.
Wow.
And we finally got it done, but it was interesting. It was very interesting. But that's the one thing I've noticed is like all of us, Lyrian XR is a weird project because we're not necessarily a band, like as a normal band would be. Like we're kind of like made up of a bunch of independent artists now. Is really what it kind of wound up starting. It was like me and Rachel kind of being like, hey, we went to the studio, wanted to start recording some songs and doing music like that, and building it in the studio. And then like we wound up having members join, like Chris wound up joining as drums for a while, and then he wound up moving out to Texas in the churn, and then Jamie's up in DC now and he's working with us, you know. Still Billy's up in Melbourne, like he's the only one really local besides me and Rachel, so it's a little different.
And so, and you and Rachel
bands.
then are
We don't
in
do it for
Florida?
money. We weren't worried about the live shows right away because we were more worried about the music itself. We were more worried about the outcome of each and every song as we built it, because I put a lot of thought into each song. And so did the rest of them. Like Billy's a perfectionist. Like he waited until the rest of the entire song was done, and he blames it on deadlines. He's gonna kill me for saying this, but let's just be real. I don't really have deadlines. I'm a bad guy with that. I kind of go along a feeling I've always worked with. You know, that time limit of don't take forever. You know what I'm saying? Basically, it's kind of like, you know, life happens, but don't take forever. But he took like an entire year basically to wait for the song to be completely done before writing all his leads for this song. Like he was just like, okay, now I'll do it.
Sometimes it's tough to like force the, you know, like some things in life can be happening, and you know, your mental state cannot be in like a great spot. And like I know because when it comes to lyric writing time for me, sometimes I'm like scared of doing it for some reason. But it's almost like anything else in life that once you just sit down and start doing it, you know, 9 times out of 10, or like oftentimes anyways, you'll complete the task. But sometimes, yeah, I make things molehills into mountains or whatever. So I get that.
Well, we kept changing stuff in it too here and there, so it was like I could kind of see he was wanting to see what everybody else was doing first, and to really see where he could really fine tune it to that perfect note for each part. Basically, like Billy's like that. He's a perfectionist, to be honest. He's really good. He's honestly really, really good in my opinion. But he'll be like, "Oh, shut up," you know.
Yeah. No,
that's him.
When me and Keelan,
humble guy, but it's awesome.
When me and Keelan are in the studio writing when he's writing his lead parts there too, he's usually the last instrument to get put into the song too, because it's like, okay, let's see where everything else goes, and I'll be the, you know, the butter on top here, and I'll be the center of attention here, and blah blah blah. So yeah, Keelan is
he knows where to fill and not to fill basically, and with that, that's what Billy does too. I notice a lot of guys that do lead guitar seem to do things like that.
Well, it's like you need to know what bass you're playing over top of, and sometimes it can work reverse, right? Depends on your rhythm guitarist.
Yep. Rachel does that with her bass sometimes. She usually waits till after my vocals are done, which is what's crazy. I usually start kind of writing my vocals for the most part, and my lyrics and whatnot for the song. Usually, I would say I usually do it when I have the guitar and drums there, at least enough to basically get like a main structured idea for the song. And then I kind of listen to it and I kind of just let it talk to me, and it just comes out. To be honest, it's how I usually generally write with it. And as other people may fill other tracks, I might hear something like, oh, no, I want to put this and fill this little line right here, or put that line right there, just to get it kind of more filled out. But for the most part, the main song's already written. you know, and it's like, so I'm not really putting fillers necessarily, but it's more of like, I feel like it'll wrap this part into the next part better or something. If I add that little part there, like I'll do things like that, but
Fill in some
I
blank
usually start
space.
when I have the guitar and drums. Yeah, you don't want like a blank space somewhere. Sometimes you'll hear it and be like, it's like a filler, but you still want to add a line maybe that's a little different than you don't want to just put another repeat line in there. So it's like a filler, but it's not.
Exactly.
It's better than just a oh yeah, you know, like
Oh yeah.
a what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to Fred Durst it. I don't want to
Yeah.
Fred Durst it necessarily, you know, but I mean,
he's
Fred
doing
did
all
his
right
thing
though.
too.
He's doing all right. He's got those dad vibes these days, you
Hey,
know.
The dreaded
dude, that Dad Vibe
Durst,
song was awesome.
It's
the dreaded Durst fucking Hetfield scale. You wanna be
He
somewhere.
looks
You wanna
he
be in the
looks
middle.
like, I don't know if anybody else sees it, but he looks like I forgot his name, but he had this character he'd dress up as for like this weird character like back in the early, like I want to say late 90s actually. I want to say it was late 90s, early 2000s. He used to have this character he would dress up with and go mess with Wes Borland and stuff with, and he'd be like acting like he's some, I forgot what it was, but he looked like that. He had the glasses and the hair,
Well,
and I
recently
swear,
I saw his video of Limp Bizkit performing at Lollapalooza. So this is probably like a year or two ago now. And he had like the old guy like gray hair thing on, like the cocky pants and like the dress shirt with like all the checkered stripes and stuff. Just like he's like, yeah, dad vibes, rocking it. Like I don't care. And for some reason that put the biggest smile on my face, and I wanted to watch the whole show. And I didn't really like. It's not that I never cared.
dude,
Like I was like, yeah, Chainsaw, and like I'll throw down if I hear a live cover of Limp Bizkit always. But I didn't like actively listen to them. And then that Dad Vibes song came out, and they were doing live shit, and I was like, this is dope.
he cracks me up. He honestly does. He really, honestly, like I don't know if people realize it, but that man don't care.
Yeah,
That man does not care.
yeah.
That's funny.
He's done a lot to like
I always
solidify
found it funny.
himself as like I don't know. I don't want to say cultural icon, but in a sense, yes. Like working with a bunch of video games, or working with a
He
bunch of
is,
wrestlers, or working like it's bizarre how much he's done to really sink his
dude,
teeth into the industry.
everybody. Everybody knows who Fred Durst is, man.
Oh
If
yeah.
they don't know who Fred Durst is, like they're probably like super, super young or
Yeah,
something, and just haven't discovered. They haven't discovered him yet because they're super young. Like you
yeah.
can't be even close to my age and not know who he is.
Post Malone hasn't rapped about him yet, so
Hey,
the
Oh.
kid
no,
won't
no, no.
know.
Kanye West hasn't put him on, so nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Larry, you got some more questions? We'll keep talking
Yeah.
otherwise.
Yeah.
If Cardi
Um.
B says something about him, they'll know.
Oh man,
What
they'll all know.
What's your personal opinion on, let's say, MGK, and then he blasts someone like Corey Taylor, and then all it was just to boost his album ratings. Do you think that a smart move, or a move younger bands should stay away from?
Oh.
That's like
Oh,
a
that's a
good
good question too.
question.
Larry has some great questions, man.
Yeah.
I
Let's.
love Larry.
I would say. It depends on what his goal is, really. Like, why is he trying to boost his ratings? If he's trying to make people talk about him, talking shit about someone like Corey Taylor, I mean, Corey Taylor's been in the industry for how many years? Came from what and turned himself into what? Like MGK,
Especially after Eminem.
you know, I feel like MGK's just do like all the people that do stuff like that. I feel like they're basically just doing the same thing Eminem did, and we already have Eminem for that, man. Like that's all I gotta say for that. Like I'm a nobody, but just from my spectrum as a listener, I would have to turn around and say talking trash about somebody like Corey Taylor, from his spectrum, it's like what does MGK have that Corey Taylor couldn't already do, or probably do 10 times better, to be honest, like in my opinion,
No, yeah.
personally.
I mean, I think
I call it like I see it, man. Like,
yeah.
Like I'll be honest.
I think it's
I'm
a
an
smart
honest
move to
person.
sell records because you get people talking about your stuff. You know what I mean? Like anybody that was
Yeah,
already gonna
people don't
buy
know
your
who you
record,
are.
People,
It's a flash in the pan move.
yeah,
like,
that's all it is.
People are gonna know who you are, but they're gonna think you're stupid.
Yeah.
Especially, and
Like,
I was actually
why
gonna
would you
say,
talk shit about
especially,
somebody from Slipknot like that?
Yeah.
especially after
It's
you just
Slipknot. They're
came
a
hot off
huge
of,
band.
yeah, especially when you came hot off of crashing your own career previously from dissing the other one of the other huge dudes in another genre entirely.
And then right after the Eminem thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just looks
Oh,
so
so
dumb.
what, you think Corey Taylor won't slaughter you just the same as Eminem did? They got like the same amount of time in the industry, dude. They got the same trophies under their belt, man. Like,
I have like a different opinion on it. I literally think that both Corey Taylor, like when these things happen, I feel like that their record labels get on the phone with each other and they both say, hey, so like, you know, do you need to sell anything? Because we need to sell something. Yeah, okay. All right, let's start some beef and then we'll sell some shit. Hang up the phone. I feel, you know what I mean? I like literally, I think that's
I'm
what's
sure.
happening because it's
that's
why
the only other reason I
you're
can
like,
see him
why?
doing it.
Yeah, why would MGK even have any reason to try to shit on? Why would any, you know what I mean? It's just, I think that's just, I don't know anything. Just like you said, I'm nobody
I
and
don't think-
whatever. But yeah, that's what I think.
It kind of goes hand in hand with like those celebrity boxing matches. Like I feel like it's identical just in the music world because like they're just trying to they're trying different things and like I don't know if it's Sabe's idea. I don't know if it's like anyone's like perspective on it, but I find it kind of silly because it's like you guys could like just do this without that stuff. Like you could keep it low key and not bring it up like that because like yeah, I don't know how that's gonna help MGK at all. But in the same sense, you know, look at Nickelback. Like so many people hate them, but they sell out when they play here in Canada. Like they play huge places, and I don't know, like I don't know if that's
They
gonna
fill
be the
seats,
same
man.
effect for MGK, but like you know what I mean? Like I think he's one of those people too that just doesn't give a fuck. Same with Corey Taylor. Like he's like, okay, hate on me, I'll hate back. I don't give a fuck. So
Yeah, but
I don't know.
AJ, Nickelback's Chad had actually said that the reason why Nickelback is still making music is because people are going, yeah, Nickelback sucks. So they're practically just making music because people are saying they suck, you know?
Like, suck on this.
So here's another whole new album.
This is gonna
Here's a
suck,
whole
too,
nother
but
album.
you're gonna love it.
But I bet you they'll buy it.
Yeah, well,
They fill
will.
seats.
Yeah.
They turn around and they sell albums, man. I mean, I
True.
don't know. I mean, I never hear nobody driving by listening to it, but like, I guess they listen to it somewhere.
It's funny in Alberta, and because Nickelback is from Alberta, and we live in Alberta, and you do hear it when people driving by. Like, in a pickup
Really?
truck and a tipping deck,
See?
get it down out by the deer by better.
See?
And you hear that shit. It's hilarious.
Wow, it's a great impression.
You know, me and my wife Rachel we were talk about it sometimes or whatever. We've actually said like there's a lot of good Canadian bands like that come from Canada. We've noticed like we listen to a lot of different music and we've noticed there's a lot of bands that are really good that we listen to that we noticed that a lot of them are from Canada and we're like what's going on here? Like we've noticed that like there's a lot of good bands. Like we used to listen to Threat Signal a lot, like, and we still do. And like we're like Threat Signal, really? Like, and we found out they're from Canada. We're like, oh, like we had no
Yeah.
idea. We were like jamming this music for like years, and all of a sudden we find out they're from Canada, and we're
Yeah.
like, oh, and then we find out another one. Oh, you know they're Canadian. Oh, another one. Oh, okay. And then we might find like 90% of our music we listen to, it seems like, is either bands from Canada or the UK from somewhere, like Soilwork or somebody. Like
Yeah.
you know, like we notice a lot of the bands that have a lot of good talent, like we think so talented. Anyways, you know, they all seem to be from Canada. We've noticed a lot of them. It's weird. It's
I think it's
Long winters.
long winters.
We got to do something to pass the time.
We get all depressed, stuck in our houses for 7 months up here in Alberta. So we're just like fucking right about it.
Maybe that's it. You guys get so like stuck in like the igloo era, you know, like, drinking with polar bears up there.
Yeah, bro. Like I can't get my moose to start on a 6 a.m. on a Monday morning when I'm getting ready for work. So I'm just like, fuck, let's write a song about it, eh?
The wife's got the bear, so we're stuck here at the igloo. We might as well write a song.
Oh man, you know what I think?
Like You guys doing vocal challenges with the Bears? Like if I can get as much rumble to my roar as his, then I know I'm good. Like
Good.
Actually, you know what?
The bear.
Now that we're
Oh, go
talking
ahead.
about Canadian stereotypes, I have a. Do we have an accent to you? Do we sound funny? Do we sound like South Park Canada? You know what I mean?
Nah,
Yeah, what about it?
to be honest, no. I hear a little bit of an accent to Larry, but like I don't hear an accent to you guys really that much at all, really.
All right, there you go.
I
Fucking
probably
A-rates
have
there,
more of
bud.
an
Let's go
accent
get
than
her
you
done.
guys.
No, actually, you
Honestly.
said because you're from Florida, right?
Yep. From
I
Florida.
I've been to Florida like once or twice when I was really young. My grandpa used to like drive trailer, like I don't know, horse-sized trailers and stuff. And I remember going to Florida and I went to like a Waffle House or something, and we sat down and we're looking at the menu and she comes over and she's like, "Well, then, hello there. What can I get for you?" And I think she said y'all instead, though. I don't know, but it was very deep
How
South
y'all
accent.
do?
How y'all doing? And, whatever. And we're like, yeah, we'll get this or whatever. She's like, "You're not from here." And just like instantly, we said like 3 words. Y'all ain't from here. We're like, no.
Y'all ain't from around here, are you?
She's
Yeah.
super friendly
Oh
though,
man.
super friendly. Like
Oh
I was
man.
like, I wanted to go back
You
and eat
guys gonna make
waffles
me
all
do my
day.
Odie voice. You guys gonna that makes me want to do my Odie voice.
Do it.
That's so funny. Odie voice. Rachel's like, you should do your Odie voice just to mess with them when you come on, and I was like, no.
No.
I was like,
Well, I mean,
no,
there's
I'm
always
not gonna do that.
Oh, that's
it's always
The
funny.
fun to
Odie
like
voice is
up
like
the Canadian accent though. You get someone who's like, "Oh, you're from Canadian." "Oh yeah, I'm from Canada. Eh? We're just taking a break from getting some twofer. We're gonna have some fun over here on the video games, there, bud."
Hitting up the Timmy's getting
Just
me a
like,
double.
Dabble.
look at this dude camping in the corner. Take a hike, bud. Kick some rocks.
I'm sorry. I brought up the accent thing. I always do it. Like anytime that I meet a band from somewhere else or whatever, I'm just like, so do we sound funny? Like I'm just curious. It's always a fun little conversational thing.
no, because you never know. Some people hear something different than other people sometimes.
Yeah. South Park accents, those were so much fun.
I have my screams, my low ends, and my high ends. So it's like it's got more of a well-rounded balance of my voice itself on one song. So as a spotlight song, I say I would do that one personally. As what I use it for an opener, I think I would honestly, personally, right now with the song list that we have right now, that if we were playing live, I think I would probably personally want to open with Beth 1692, just because it has a clean intro on the guitar, and I feel like it's got a little bit more of a wind up to it to come in for the entire set. The way the verses are set up in the beginning, so it's a real good opener song, I would say personally. But then again, that's from I haven't gone live with this band particularly, so like that would be coming from other previous bands I've been live in. So like from my experience from those shows, if I had these songs set list, I would say that's probably what I would go with personally. I kind of feel like that would be more something I would do for the opener song. So it's really a toss up. Either song could be good openers though, to be honest.
It's always interesting when you have like a list of songs and you're looking and you're thinking, you're like, okay, so like, how do I want to present this to the world on stage kind of thing? You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like remixing an album and being like, I have an option now to make this into a new album, and with a new story and tell a, so that's kind of neat. What, so like when you're writing your lyrics and stuff like that, at the end of the day, like what's your muse, if you will? Like, what is it that you usually write about? What's kind of like the content of the music? What's you're pouring your heart out there. I'm sure all of us are, when we're writing our songs. And what is it? What is it that does it for you, man?
Okay, that's a good one. Well, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. To be honest, I'm gonna be 100% honest. Like I knew that question was coming one day.
I hope so. I hope you're gonna be honest.
Oh, you opened up a can of worms.
Oh shit.
Man. So here's the thing. For my lyrics, when I write my lyrics, there's two ways I write them. When I hear a song, sometimes every once in a while, I'll hear something specific that song's like telling me, like this is what it's about, right? I don't, as a vocalist and lyricist, you may understand that. Then there's the other way, where it's like, it's weird, man. Like, I I'll be listening to the music, and these very same headphones actually, I'll wind up listening to it a lot on, and I'll just kind of listen to the music and listen to it and listen to it. And I wind up zoning out, man, and that's like almost like I get into like a subconscious state basically, and that's kind of it's almost like I hear it already there, like it's already written. And I kind of it just comes out, man. To be honest, I'm not really sure where it comes from necessarily, but it just comes out, and I kind of just write it as it goes, and then I just kind of tweak it maybe a little bit here and there to clean it up, maybe. Like specific lines to where it's maybe it needs to be a little shorter on syllables or something, so I have to reword it a different way slightly, but it winds up still saying exactly the same thing at the end of the day. So that's really, to be honest, that's the majority of where my lyrics come from. But at the same time, though, they all come from someplace, obviously, even if it's a subconscious state. Like I'm still there, I'm still writing it. So I'm just in a zone basically that feels like a subconscious state. So really, I still know what they wind up being about. And depending on which song, they're all have a different meaning to them, to be honest. So it really would depend on which song it is as to how I wrote it and what state of mind I was in when I wrote it. So that really also depends on what it's about, depending on what state of mind I was on when I wrote it. I like to write more vaguely so that people can take it and relate it to different topics and stories for themselves independently. That way they have their own meaning to it more. So I write it in a certain way to where it's more vague like that, where I tend to try to write more about the emotion that I'm experiencing, that I'm thinking about, and describing that a lot more in a metaphorical or like an analogic way, to where basically they can perceive it for what they think it's about. Whereas for me personally, it could be completely a different topic, but still we all feel the same emotions at the end of the day. So, if I'm talking about rage or whatever, you're going to experience rage too. You're going to still feel rage at the same level or whatever. Maybe it could be a little different, but you could be just as angry about something over here that I'm angry about over here, something completely different, but we're just as angry, right? So if I'm talking about that rage, you're still going to feel it the same way when you hear it. So I try to write it in a way most of the time more people can identify with it as well, hopefully, because that way more people on a broader spectrum will still be able to relate to the song. Then again, if I get specific about something, usually it's because it's something that more people generally tend to experience. A lot of people tend to experience it as well. So it's not like I'm the only one experiencing it anyway. So it's like, like that's why you hear so many songs about girlfriend breaking up with you or something, like things like that. It's like everybody has a girlfriend that broke up with them before, probably, or a boyfriend that broke up with them or whatever, right? Everybody's had a partner that broke up with them. So that's probably why you hear so many songs about a breakup somewhere. Like, everybody hears that. The love songs, like every country song has a divorce song. I'm at the bar drinking because my wife left me, my dog died. There's a million of those. Every music genre has a stereotype, and it's for a reason. That particular style generally maybe matches that emotion sound more.
No, I mean,
that's the way I feel about it.
The thing you said that really resonated with me was like writing it down, but knowing that somebody else might hear it differently. Like, like allowing it to fit a different scenario, even though it means something specific to you. That's a big one for me too. So I respect that big time.
I feel like a lot of vocalists do that. I just kind of, most of the music I've heard, like, growing up, like listening to music like crazy. And that's what a lot of my favorite vocalists, it seemed like they did. Something I noticed is the way they wrote it. It's the way they would say something, the words they would use. And that's kind of something that stuck with me from the beginning. So I've always tended to try to do that. I've always tried to write in a way where it might be something very specific that I'm thinking of, but at the same time, if you write it right in the right way, people can take it at least 3 or 4 different ways, and I feel like it's good enough. Like I feel like that's something, like maybe that's something I got to work with here, because now it's something that only maybe this handful of people might hear and be like, oh, I understand that, I feel that, I relate to that. But then like there's like 100 other people over here that won't, because they've never gone through that per se, maybe. So in those situations, when I'm writing about something like that, maybe not everybody else has gone through, I tend to try to write a little bit more vague, so that way they can feel it that way, because I might be the only person that maybe experienced it that way and maybe felt that way about it. But if I write about that's when I write about the emotion side to do that, because I feel like at that point people will understand that feeling more. It just really depends though too, because in our songs, if you pinpointed like a certain line or something, if you turn around and said, hey, what did you mean when you said this line right here? That's when I'd be able to answer in that particular way. Well, that's like a metaphor for this. You know, I'd be able to say it that way. Because I use like a million of them, man. Like,
Yeah. Sometimes I couldn't even answer it straight up. Someone's like, "Hey, what does this mean?" And I'm like really, like if the shoe fits, kind of thing, you know. Sometimes it's really personal too, and you're like, "I'm not gonna dive into it."
Yeah, I've seen people literally turn around and tell me like, "Oh, I wrote that because I just thought it was a cool play with words," like, you know. And hey, it fit. If it works, it works. Is that a cat? Oh man.
He wants my attention, so he's like, he's all over it. It's almost his feed. Oh no, he already ate, so I don't know. He just wants the attention, I guess.
There you go.
But you know what? Let's use my cat interrupting us as a beautiful segue over. We'll spend 10 more minutes here, listening to some underground bands, adding some music onto the Underground Nugs playlist. Stick with us. We will be right back. Okay? Don't go anywhere. We are back. We are freaking back with the Underground Nugs playlist. Okay, so obviously we need to add some Lyrian XR on here first and foremost. Okay, so let's get it. What song do you want? So here's how we do it. We just kind of listen to the first 1 minute of every song. Halfway through the song, we pause and just kind of quickly chat about it. So we're trying our best not to break too many copyright rules. So we're commentating on the music that we're listening to. But yeah, which track do you want us to check out the first minute of?
Really, they got some intros in them, man.
Well, you know, you can tell us, you can have us punch in at a specific time too if you'd like.
I don't know exactly what times they'd be on exactly like that off the top of my head. I mean, you could always play Ergo All My Love is probably, like I said, it's a really most well-rounded, balanced one, I'd say. I don't always rap and clean like that, but depends on the song.
All right. And you know what? If it doesn't hit, if we're not satisfied with the hit of the whole song, since you're the guest, we'll just listen to the whole song today.
Okay.
All right, let's check it out. All right, Ergo All My Love by Lyrian XR. Let's do it. Nice. All right, yeah. Spotify is gonna automatically pause itself every 30 seconds, but we'll keep on checking it out anyways. Fuck. Okay, where did you guys get this mixed and mastered? It sounds really nice. It's like punching it. I got the studio headphones on here, so I'm experiencing it how it should be. You know.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. That's Jamie, man. Jamie Stoff, but that's JLS Audio. That's the guy that I work with. I've been working with him since I want to say, was it 2017, 2018?
Fuck yeah.
Somewhere around there.
He did a good job.
Yeah, he's recording. He's the one that he does all of our stuff, man. He's our sound wizard.
A wizard? You're a wizard. All right, let's keep listening.
Oh, he's a wizard.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I like that.
This is cool.
It's got almost like kind of a nostalgic sound to it for me. I'm not entirely sure what it reminds me of, but I really like it.
We try to do that too. I think we've coined the term nostalgia core every once in a while. It's like bringing something from the past and blending it with something new. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's not to say that it sounds like something generic at all. That there's just a certain sound to it that I really like. It brings me back.
I'm trying to think of the band that it
Wait-
is. Your voice
wait till
reminds me of somebody, and I'm like, I can't remember who it is, but it's like, yeah, it's dope.
It changes throughout every. You'll hear it if you listen to that whole song. That song transforms at the end of it completely. It gets very heavy for what you're hearing for the rest of it.
Well, we're gonna keep on listening, and I'm just gonna continue to press the play button as it automatically pauses. So if it pauses for a second, sorry, but let's keep on listening to it here.
I think Spotify can tell that we're streaming or something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Probably what it is.
Is that you screaming too?
I do all the vocals on that song.
Nice. The vocal drop, I like that.
That was Jamie's idea actually, and he sent it to me. I was like, he's like, don't like think I'm weird, but like you never hear that part like hearing rap songs and whatever. And I was like, yeah. He's like, just listen to it, and then tell me yes or no. I won't get mad. I was like, you know what? It's weird. When I first heard it, I was like, that's really weird. But then I was like, but you know what? I like it. Like leave that.
Yeah, that is kind of catchy.
Yeah, big time.
It's like he said that it's because of what I was talking about. It's become so numb to, and all of a sudden it's like it makes it sound like I'm going ooh. I was like, that's pretty cool.
I got like my hand on the spacebar button here, ready to keep pressing play. It still catches me off guard. Again. Ooh. Bro.
Nice. That was sick.
Nice.
That is going on the
That's dope.
freaking playlist. Let's go add now.
Yeah.
Hell yes. Oh, this one's already added.
Oh man.
Let's add it. We're gonna add Beth 9. What's another song you want added onto the playlist? You get it in there twice now.
Oh man, put Beth in. You know you're gonna like Beth. If you
There
like
you
that one, I would say you'd probably like Beth. It's
That-
a little heavier, like most of the time. It's not like so rappy. Basically, it's rappy, but it's not like the clean rappiness to it. It's kind of more like a scream rap to it, I guess you'd say.
Okay.
But it still has a clean chorus and all that. All of our songs have a real well balanced blend to them.
Yeah, we definitely do the same
Like,
stuff with like
when it
going
comes to
back and
that.
forth. Yeah. Larry, we got time to add one more band in today. Give me an underground band you want to give a shout out to, and then we gotta wrap the show up.
Deviate the plan.
Boom. Okay, so let's go. Boom. Deviate
Larry
the
knows
plan.
all the underground nuggets.
Yeah, Larry, actually, I gotta say, man, your questions, I'm gonna secretly have you make my
Yes,
questions
go.
for me. That was very professional. You had industry related questions, you had personal questions, you had me. It was very good. And he also knows all the bands. So this is Deviate the Plan.
yeah.
They look pretty familiar.
He
I feel like
does, man.
I feel. What song do we want to check out?
Their new one, Knock Me Down.
Knock Me Down. All right, let's check out the first minute of Knock Me Down before we wrap it up. Boom. Deviate the plan. Let's get it. It's a sexy little guitar line. Another nice mix and master. I love it when it hits my ears nice.
Groovy.
They got swing to them, man.
Yeah. Larry, where are these guys from?
Florida.
Florida? All right, here
Really?
we go. Let's
Yeah.
get the next 30 seconds. Shit, Florida, eh? Nice.
You guys are groovy.
Just the right amount of like a hint of funk. to it, too.
100%.
Yeah.
Wow. These guys, you know what? They really thought about their composure because they got all the juice of the song within the first 1 minute. Like, you got the hook, you got the, everything was there. I was like, oh, damn. Well, Knock Me
Slap
Down.
for sure.
They threw it all in.
They threw it all in. Those guys are smart. Underground Nugs, it's added. Boom, deviate the plan. Larry, before we wrap up the show, where do you find all your bands? You just like go through Spotify or are you on Facebook? What's your secret for finding all this underground juice?
Well, how I met Aaron was actually through Chris, who added me, and because he was in the band, that's how I got the connection to Aaron. So sometimes they add me, but yes, sometimes hey, I'm going to go to the show tomorrow, and knowing only you guys, but I'm going to be there both days, for example, and then I'm going to be introduced to all those other bands. So sometimes it's like just knowing the one band, going to their show to support them. That also does it.
That makes sense.
Well, shit, dude.
Yep.
Guys, everybody, seriously, Aaron, Larry, and everybody else, Pierce, AJ, Keelan. Thank you guys all for being here. Anybody in the chats today? Sorry, we didn't read a whole lot of comments, but we were having fun doing the chats. You know what I mean? It was Aaron. It was actually like it was an awesome time having you on the show. It's a blessing to meet you. I'm happy to hear that you're making moves in your own way, and like you said, you're not playing shows yet, but like you have a plan in front of you, and it's good. I think there's so many routes to achieving what you want in music in 2022, and I think you're on the right path. So it's awesome. Larry, thank you for hooking this show up today, man. Seriously, you're the man.
Yeah, no problem.
Little Larry praise. Woo!
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Thank you, Larry.
Larry.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to have our faces on the screen that whole last like 3 minutes, but you know what? It's all good. We love you guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out with us. All right, peace out.